Week 9 of the Simulation Football League season concludes in Detroit. Two of the league's newest franchises meet for the first time ever in a newly christened North Division rivalry. After a sluggish start, the Canton Classics are finally on the rise that many expected, while the Motor City V8s have struggled to get their engines running after a surprisingly great start. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bank Michigan Stadium in Detroit. Alongside producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, our statisticians Chad Rowland and Adam Wiseman, and my partner Charles Doherty. I'm Tim Hackett. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. These two teams are on opposite ends of the momentum spectrum, Charles, and that sets up what should be a really intriguing game to wrap up Week 9.
Oh, most definitely, and I'm psyched to be here at the Battle of the Golden Dog Bone. Like you said, though, we've got two teams here with different trajectories. Canton has won the last 3 games, and Motor City is at a 4-game losing streak. So each game Canton's getting better and better, and we'll talk about what some of the coaches have shared with me. But Motor City, it looks like they've had to go back to the laboratory and come up with some new tricks in their bag.
Sometimes, Charles, it's hard to kind of get the pulse of a team, and especially in a matchup, and figure out how the two teams are doing relative to the other. But this is about as easy as it gets. Canton on a 3-game win streak, Motor City on a 4-game losing streak. And all of a sudden, this game will help decide the position in the North Division, even though every team is still way behind London, regardless of the conclusion of this one. It's the first ever meeting between Motor City, a team that relocated from St. Louis in the offseason, and the Canton Classics, one of the 4 brand new franchises in the SFL. The V8s will get the ball to start off here at Bank Michigan Stadium, and we are underway in the final game of Week 9 of Season 19 of the Simulation Football League. Rookie Dion Lane Barney will bring it out for the V8s, who will start at the 26-yard line. Really, the trajectory for Motor City is easy to understand. This team started 2-1, kind of shocking the SFL world, beating Tulsa in Week 1 and then beating Sioux Falls, one of the preeminent franchises in this league, a couple of weeks later to begin their inaugural campaign at 2-1. But since then, it's been all downhill from there. They've lost 4 straight games, including a 29-16 loss last week against the LA Lycans, in which their offense scored 0 touchdowns. So what do they do on their first play? They will run it to Christopher Dean, something they do not do very much, Charles, and that's good for a gain of 7.
Definitely. I was talking to one of the owners, Dwayne, for Motor City before the game, and they said they were going to try and see if they could implement more running tonight, and they showed it here on the first play.
Christopher Dean, fullback, only 12 carries on the season, and tailback Baloo Scott, only 53 carries, last among all starting running backs in the SFL. They run it on first down. Will they throw it here? No, it will be a run to Baloo Scott right into the thick of the Canton defense. You figure that might be a place to target for this Canton defense, Charles. They've struggled to defend the run this year, even though they've been very good against the pass. No gain for Baloo.
Yeah, just the fact that they're going to be Motor City's going to be running a lot should maybe open the eyes for Canton. Like you said, they're going to need to tighten down there in the middle, and so far Motor City's been showing a tendency to run.
No gain for Baloo Scott, who averages fewer than 3 yards per carry. And so Ibrahim Crieto will throw for the first time tonight out of the flat. Here goes Baloo Scott, and she is pushed out of bounds, inches short of the first down line. Canton holds firm on 3rd down, and now what does MCV do?
I think they punt.
No chance they go for it on 4th and inches?
Yeah, I don't know. That would make it interesting. I mean, hey, the SFL, we've seen crazier things.
No kidding, but they will instead line up to punt. This is John Pickles to punt, with the veteran Al Dillapre Sr. back to return. So a stop on 3rd down for Canton. They've been very good against 3rd downs on the balance of this season, and especially recently. Turnable here for Dillapre. And not much on that return for Dillapre. We just outlined the trajectory for Motor City. 2-1 start, 4 straight losses. The complete opposite for Canton. They lose their first 4 games of all the expansion teams. This was the team with the brightest spotlight, the team that most in this community figured might have the best inaugural season. There was not a lot of success for Canton over the first 4 weeks, but over the last few weeks, a ton of success. They have won their last 3, and most of them have been convincing wins, including a 30-24 win last week against Portland. Their first play goes on the ground, and it's a run for Robert Johnson and a gain of 2.
Yeah, you got to take your hat off to Coach Mike Twinscrew of Canton. He's really limited the mistakes that Cameron Curtis has made. His first 4 games, Cameron threw 9 touchdowns and 18 interceptions. The last 3 games, he's got it on the right side, 7 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. No, not perfect, but definitely an upward trend.
Turnovers have doomed Canton, especially in their losses, like you said. Johnson gets the give and gets nothing. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain by Doug Howard.
Yeah, Johnson looking to see what kind of game he has tonight. Last 3 games, he hasn't cracked 100. He scored, he's averaging about a touchdown a game, but he's still looking for that 100-yard game here in the last couple games.
But only 3.7 yards per carry, which is lower than what he's done over the balance of his career. First third down here for Canton, and they pick it up. A dot from Cameron Curtis, and that's caught by the aforementioned Mike Twinscrew, their number 2 wideout. First down for the Classics.
Curtis had plenty of time in the pocket, and I think it started up front, the center. Anytime you've got a center named Girth Lord, the defense is going to take some note and say, hey, we're going to have to work extra hard getting to Cameron Curtis tonight.
Fortunately for Motor City, applying pressure on opposing quarterbacks has not been something they've been good at this year. They have tallied 5 sacks total this season through 7 games. Part of the reason why Curtis had so much time. The 45. Curtis will throw again into traffic. There were 3 V8 defenders there, but the pass was still caught for a short gain. First catch today for Jack Wall.
And like you said, it was in the middle of traffic, but Cameron Curtis put the ball where only the wide receiver could catch it. So well done there by Cameron Curtis.
Jack Wall, 3 catches for 31 yards last week in Canton's win against Portland, and he's into the books already here on the Classics' first drive. They're driving from right around midfield. Here goes Johnson, running room for Robert Johnson, bowls over a man and crosses into enemy territory. First down, Canton. That, Charles, is what Robert Johnson is known for.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, just shows his toughness. He gets in past the offensive line and just lowers his shoulder and is looking for the next person to hit.
Nicholas Warner finally brings him down after the rookie corner. Dion Lane Barney was the one who was left on the dirt. Welcome to the league. You're a rookie corner, even a heralded one like Dion Lane Barney is, but you've got to try to stop a bruising running back like Robert Johnson. Not easy for a cornerback to do. Second first down for Canton. Flags fly. Here's the give to the fullback, Chris Komisak, and he is stopped right at the line by Matthew Halford and Sabo Kanan, but we'll check the marker.
Yeah, to your point earlier, most rookie cornerbacks coming in the league don't necessarily have a high tackle skill. So, a couple seasons we'll be seeing Dion laying out some halfbacks in the backfield.
It was an offsides call against Dakota Butts, our first time meeting R62 tonight, and a play that went for no gain will end up being a bonus 5 yards for the Canton offense. Let's meet the rest of them. For head coach and offensive coordinator Mike Twinscrew. You get a look at David Leathers trying to stir the pot a little bit on the first drive defensively for Motor City. I think this game means a lot to both teams. Here's Johnson. Not a lot there. Kanan again on the stop. Here is the Canton offense. Cameron Curtis is the quarterback. Robert Johnson, the tailback. Chris Komisak is the fullback. 4 wide receivers. Kendra Hall, Mike Twinscrew, Al Dillapre Sr., and KJ Alesho. Jack Wall is the tight end, and the offensive line, as Charles mentioned, is anchored by center Girth Lord, the undrafted rookie, wearing number 73 in the Canton white and gold throwback uniforms honoring the 1920s Canton Bulldogs. Johnson again. Cracks outside. Robert Johnson gets the first down somehow. David Leathers brings him down, but Rojo doing enough.
Yeah, nifty footwork there. I mean, the blocking wasn't perfect there on the edge, but I think most of that was the footwork by Robert Johnson. He was doing a little dipsy-do right at the edge, and then he had to do it a couple yards down further and got a great gain there when it was looking like he wasn't getting anything.
Their first down for Canton. They've moved the ball nicely here on their first drive. Curtis to throw, nice protection, and now links up with Kendra Hall for the first time. One of the best wide receivers in the SFL, Charles, a prized offseason acquisition for this brand new team. She's been a wide receiver 2 in Vancouver and other places, and comes over here to Canton to be the wide receiver 1 for Mike Twinscrew and company, and she has lived up to that billing.
Yeah, Mike Twinscrew told me before the game that Kendra Hall is suffering from some health ailments here, and the whole team wants to wish her a quick recovery.
Absolutely, and she has shined on the field even while she has been struggling often. Great tackle there against Johnson, ripping him down by his ankles is Dakota Butts, who was guilty of that offside call earlier. Nice play there.
Yeah, I mean, the defense of Motor City just needs to settle down there and figure out what they're up against with the Canton offensive playbook. And maybe they can start thinking about trying to figure out ways to put some pressure on Cameron Curtis.
Another third down here for Canton. They'll give it to Johnson, and Motor City makes the stop that time. The Classics had converted every third down on this drive. Not this time. Rodney Panani, veteran middle linebacker, on the stop. It's fourth down.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tip of the cap to the Motor City V8s on the defense. They started to settle in, holding them to a potential field goal here. And, it's not perfect defense, but stopped them when they needed to.
Rob Ems. Oh, check that, Charles. They will bring the offense back out here. I should have saved my question for this drive. Any chance they snap it?
I don't know. I think odds are they're just going to burn a timeout.
My favorite play in the SFL coming up, and there it is. Bait and switch. And Motor City, which, as we just mentioned, already guilty of an offsides call on their first possession defensively. Not that time.
Yeah, nice discipline on the line there by holding tight and not jumping. That would have been a huge mistake.
No kidding, and that would have given Canton another first down. They converted 2 third downs on that possession, failed on the third one, and so now I assume we will be seeing Rob Ems. Yes, it took them a little while. But yes, indeed, Rob Ems, the place kicker for Canton, also came over in the offseason from L.A. along with Robert Johnson. They spent the last handful of seasons together on the West Coast for the Lycans, now moving back here to the center of the country. And Ems has been as solid as usual. Snap down hold from Tex Grigg, and the kick from Ems is good from 40 yards. Career kick number 116 for the 6th-season veteran Rob Ems, and Canton strikes first on the road.
Yeah, they up until that last couple of plays, they were spreading the ball around. Nice mix of run and pass, and really showing that they're going to be able. Well, they have been able to protect Cameron Curtis, and when Cameron's got the time to go through his progressions, he's a dangerous quarterback.
And avoiding making the mistakes, like you mentioned, Charles, that has been really their prerogative over the last couple of weeks because of all of those turnovers, especially the interceptions that Curtis threw. That doomed them in week 2 against Indianapolis, en route to that historic loss that Canton has finally been able to shake off. That was lost 2 out of 4 in a row to start the season, but since then the Classics have been great, especially on defense. In their 3 wins in a row, this Classics defense has allowed a total of 38 points, and in those 4 losses to start the season, they allowed an average of 39 points. So it has really been a righting of the ship defensively for this Canton defense, and Chris Porter, their defensive coordinator, they now have the lead. Creata will throw. First play of the second drive for Motor City. Nice grab there for Phil Koss, their number 1 tight end. Gain of 9.
Yeah, Phil Koss just ran downfield and stopped at the first down marker, turned around, and Creata was safe in the pocket, nobody close to touching him, and had time to just dump it off and get a first down.
Fortunately, he went back a little bit too far, right? And he ended up 1 yard short. He was right at that magic yellow line.
He was at it.
He was, and then he went backwards. Not sure what happened, so now they will have to run it on 2nd and short, and Christopher Dean gets the give, and then he gets blown up by Mark Gronick.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a huge issue here. They're at 3rd and 1. They've got a lot of options available, and basically the whole playbook.
This is a situation, Charles, where a lot of teams like to run it, but probably not Motor City. Now they will run it. What do you know? And it's a quarterback dive for Creata, and he is stopped.
That's a dangerous play. I mean, the quarterbacks get injured often when they do those runs up the middle because they've got 4 defensive linemen just waiting to put the hurt on you.
That was Mike All, one of those defensive linemen who did put the hurt on Creata that time. It was 2nd and 1, Charles. They had 2 plays ostensibly to get 1 yard. They got halfway there on 2 runs. The league's last-ranked rush offense comes up short twice and forces another punt from John Pickles. Again, returnable for Dillapre Sr., and again, stopped up extremely well by the Motor City special teams. And so Canton will start off once again from the 31 after another stop.
Yeah, I know it's early in the game, but Cameron Curtis is perfect so far, and with those 3 passes, he's spread it around between Hall, Twin Screw, and Wall. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Those
Still waiting for him to target Dillapre.
Yeah, those have been the 3 biggest targets for Canton this season, no question about it. And all 3 of them get involved on Canton's first drive. Johnson got involved a lot, carried the ball 8 times, and now he will catch the ball for the first time. He gets absolutely stuck after a gain of 3. Mark Kaufman, second-year corner on the tackle.
Yeah, not a very smart play on first down. I mean, those swing passes, a lot of the teams in this league, that's a bread and butter play. But also what it does on for the defense is it keeps them honest, keeps them having to guard that lane.
Not a play Canton runs very often, though. Johnson only 31 catches on the season. We'll throw it to him again. No, they look the other way. Curtis pass is caught, and another first down for Canton. There's Mike Twinscrew, his second grab.
Yeah, Mike's Twin Screw, the veteran. He knows how to run the routes and rarely drops the ball when it's thrown to him. And it's always a smart and safe move, keeping him on those short out routes because it's money when you throw it.
Twinscrew is clearly the wide receiver 2 in this system, Charles, with Kendra Hall there, and they've also got a great tight end and Jack Wall to throw to. But even with that said, Twinscrew is on pace for a career year, over 500 receiving yards, top 26 in the league, and on pace to go over 900 for the first time in his pro career. Johnson blows through a man once again and picks up 9. Nicholas Warner again on the stop, but once again he blows up Dion Lane Barney en route.
I was going to say that. I saw Lane Barney get thrown aside there, and again, the rookie cornerbacks don't have high tackle ratings, so I think they need to keep him back in coverage.
Sometimes even veteran corners don't have a high tackle rating.
Definitely.
You'll know if you watch the LA game on Next Level Sports right now. Here goes Johnson, the former LA Lycan, and another first down into enemy territory again to the Motor City 37.
Robert Johnson's running like a surgeon out there. Very patient, finding the right hole. And when that closes down, he's using his athleticism to gain that extra yard.
So far, this Motor City defense has not had an answer for Canton, at least on the ground. They've limited Robert Johnson somewhat, but averaging over 4 yards per tote now on the season, averaging 3.7. We'll go to him again, and another good run for Johnson. Give him 6. David Leathers, he of the neck slashing maneuver earlier on the stop. Here's the rest of the Motor City defense on the line. Doug Howard, Dakota Butts, and Mike Balot. The linebackers, Rodney Panani in the middle, and a trio on the outside. Matthew Halford, Sabo Kanan, and Tim Connolly. And in the secondary, corners, Dion Lane Barney, King Rashid, Mark Kaufman, and Ty White. And the safeties, David Leathers and Nicholas Warner. You've heard from both of them quite a bit already. Time running. They will snap it before the end of the quarter. Johnson trying to break 3, and he cannot. There is Matthew Halford, the former defensive lineman with the TFL, and that is how the first quarter will end. Rob M's 3, Motor City 0 after 1 quarter in Detroit. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us here this evening. Final game of Week 9 of Season 19 of the SFL. Tim Hackett and Charles Doherty here with you. Adam Wiseman, Chad Rowland, and Cameron Irvine along for the ride as well. 3rd and 5, play action for the first time. Curtis going to try to run, and he is wrenched down. Tackled in the backfield by Dakota Butts. They'll give him a sack, Charles. Either way, it's 4th down.
Yeah, this time the offensive line of Canton couldn't hold back the rush of Howard, Butts, and Bellotti. The pocket just broke down very quickly, and that's a nightmare for a quarterback when he's trying to run a play action.
One of the 6 rookies on this Motor City defense, just a familiar face and a new skin, Dakota Butts, and playing defensive end for the first time in his career. He forces a field goal, and Ems knocks it in from 49 yards out. So Rob Ems from 40 and from 49 tonight. That's all the offense to speak of.
Yeah, and it's, the Motor City V8s are showing the bend don't break defense. It's getting tighter and tighter as they get close. The offense gets closer to the end zone and harder to get a first down.
Canton has scored twice on 2 field goals, and they've tallied 84 yards, but it feels like a little bit more than that, doesn't it? I mean, Canton has marched down the field twice, but has come up well short of the red zone and has had to settle for field goals twice. So, yeah, to your point, Charles, this Motor City defense has really battened down the hatches when needed to.
Yeah, and they figured out a way, it looks like they're playing a little chess match out there. They figured out a way to get some pressure on the quarterback and, kept Canton, on the edge there trying to figure out how to keep their quarterback dry.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Motor City has possibly the most unique one in the league. It's such an interesting story stretching from the quarterback to this offense in general. And Charles, you've been in this league a while, a lot longer than I have, and really this is a team of construction we have never seen before. They will run it on first down. Again, not something that happens very often, and Baloo Scott gets a gain of 2. They've got 3 stud tight ends. Most teams have no more than 2. Some only have 1. And 2 standout wide receivers. Most teams in this league now have 4. So they've really inverted the scripts and gone tight end heavy. They throw a lot. Ibrahim Krieta is the league leader in pass attempts and in completions and is 7th in yards. Not a lot of passes so far tonight, and still no first downs for Motor City. Krieta will throw here. Going to lock and load deep downfield and intercepted by Bob Funk. That's his 9th pick this season. Finally, Motor City tries to air it out. Canton was ready for it.
Yeah, Bob Funk was just playing center field and got his 9th interception. 2nd in the league in overall interceptions. The one thing that Motor City can't do is throw in the center because Bob Funk, Lacey, and Bernstein have that locked down.
Krieta has thrown for a ton of yards, over 2,000, 7th in the league, like we said, but now a ton of interceptions. That's number 20, which is one of the 10 highest marks in the league, and he's only thrown 9 touchdowns, which is one of the 10 lowest marks in the league. A lot of those picks have come in the last couple of weeks. Canton right back on offense, and a first down on one play. Classics into the red zone for the first time tonight, courtesy of Al Dillapre.
Smart offensive play calling by Canton. The pressure was getting to the quarterback the last couple plays on the last series, so they threw in a short drop pass. Not a lot of time for the defensive line to adjust. Just enough time for Cameron Curtis to hit that open wide receiver.
Split back set and 3 wides. He'll run it. Johnson trying to crack outside, and then he gets cracked after a short gain. Another tackle for Nicholas Warner. Former linebacker turned strong safety. He's always been one of the best tacklers in the league. He's 6th in the SFL in tackles before this week with 69, and he's already got a couple here tonight. We've got him for 3 so far. Gain of 2 on first down for Johnson. Curtis will throw. Hit as he throws. Lobs it up, and it's caught somehow. Touchdown, Canton. Mike Twinscrew has his 6th.
He's such a dangerous wide receiver. Just got right into the seam of the zone, and perfect communication between the quarterback and the wide receiver. As soon as Twinscrew turned his head back to the quarterback, the ball was in his hands.
Wall, you saw Jack Wall, number 81 in the white and gold. He kind of ran some interference on that road, it seemed to me, Charles. And there was one safety that was Leathers, 22 in the black. He was there to cover, but Wall kind of ran in front of him, and that turned Leathers around. And when he was able to turn back around, Twinscrew had already jumped up to make that catch and was in the end zone.
Well, we can't say pick because that would be illegal.
You're right. We'll say.
And Jack Wall never does anything illegal on the field.
or off the field, his lawyers are asking me to say. So first touchdown of the night, 6th link up from Curtis to Mike Twinscrew, touchdown number 17 for Curtis. And as you mentioned earlier on, Charles, he has really righted the ship. I've used that expression a lot already to describe Canton, but it was a struggle for Cam Curtis earlier on this season, especially against Indianapolis and London, 2 games that Canton, well, one game that they should have won and one game they had no chance of winning. And since then, Curtis has been great, and he's been a really big reason why Canton has had this midseason turnaround.
Well, I would say he's been good, but tonight he's on fire, 7 for 7. And he's back there, managing the field like a general.
And Canton now with a 13-point lead. You see the spread. They're favored by 10.5 on the road, but seems like a big spread, but not when you consider some of the other lines from across the SFL this weekend. A lot of points expected. Krieta can put up those yards, but he runs right into the thick of the defense and is brought down for a loss of 7 by Chris Porter.
Yeah, right out of the pocket. Never a good thing when you run out of the pocket. It's a nightmare for the offensive lineman. It drives them crazy when the quarterback moves around like that. It's hard to maintain your blocks trying to keep your quarterback upright.
This offense has really scuffled over the last 4 or 5 weeks, Charles, like we said, but really the biggest reason why is all of the sacks they've given up. In 7 games, they have allowed 28 sacks. That is most in the league, and that comes after last week against LA where they allowed 11, which is a ridiculous number for 1 week. Sidearm throw by Creata, caught up high, but just past the line of scrimmage, and that'll go for a gain of just 2. Orain Darby with his first catch.
I'm trying to think of the major league pitcher he reminds me of. Was it Ken Tekulve? He does that underhand throw. That's unbelievable. I think he's the only quarterback in the league that does that.
He is a unique guy for a unique team in a unique setup. That's really the best way to describe this team.
There we go.
Now he will lock and load, and that time Motor City has a completion. First catch tonight for Shane Kaufman. They're 2 wide receivers with catches on back-to-back plays. And for the first time tonight, the V8s have a first down.
Yeah, hats off to the rookie. I mean, he was getting pounded around there the first couple series, but he's hanging in there and just delivered a perfect strike to Shane Kaufman. And that's the type of play that gets an offensive fired up. Maybe we can see some fireworks going up in the air here.
We know that Motor City loves to target their tight ends. They do it a lot. They've got 3 of them, but last week they got their wideouts involved a whole lot more. No gain really that time, maybe 1 for Christopher Dean. So let's introduce you to the Motor City offense before we get too much further into the second quarter. Ibrahim Creata is the quarterback, Baloo Scott the running back, Christopher Dean the fullback. Those 3 tight ends, Phil Koss, Azami Mahata, and Guy Clausen. 2 wide receivers, Shane Kaufman and Orain Darby. And a brand new offensive line. Left tackle Bill McMillan, left guard Phil McMillan, and the center is Gil McMillan. It's all in the family on the line for Motor City. Another run for Baloo Scott Canton, ready for it again. Gain of 2, and another tackle for Mark Gronick against his former team.
Yeah, to your point, you were talking about the unusual setup of the offensive roster here. You got to add the 3 offensive linemen. They have 6. And if you add the fullback, you've got 7 run blockers. So it's eye-opening that they haven't made more run attempts.
I'm with you. That seemed to be the strategy, especially during the draft, and it's been the exact opposite. Creata another sidearm throw and swatted away once again. And that'll be 4th down. Pass broken up by Cap Edwards, one of the backup secondary members.
Yeah, Cap Edwards. I believe all of the non-contract players for Canton are named after actual Canton players, real Canton Pro players. So that's an unusual twist and interesting fact about Canton.
That's awesome, and that's why you've got some of these guys named Cap Edwards, Bertie Gardner, Bull Lowe, Doc Haggerty, 1920s names, now back to life 100 years later here in the SFL. An awesome little throwback to history. Another punt for John Pickles, and for all that progress that Motor City made on that drive, Charles, it ends the same way their first 2 did, in a John Pickles punt.
Yeah, back to the names. They sound like Wild West gunfighters. Doc Haggerty, Bertie Gardner. It's awesome.
That's one of the coolest things about this league is these are all virtual people, but most of them are either real people in a virtual body, like Cameron Curtis, for example, or references to other real people just in the virtual world. That's what makes this league really special. Curtis will throw, and Mike Twinscrew is all real tonight. He has been huge. 47 yards for him now. He's now over 3,000 receiving yards in his career.
Yeah, I think Motor City made some adjustments on the line to put some pressure on the quarterback. I'm thinking they might want to do that for the coverage as well. Maybe start bumping them on the line there because they can't let them set in their route.
To 600 receiving yards now for Twinscrew, 300 away from a career high. Curtis will throw right into the breadbasket of Jack Wall. These 2 teams have tight ends that wear number 81. Get used to seeing them both. They are both very, very good. And hey, welcome to the chat if you're just joining us in Twitch. If you're new to the SFL, this is the Simulation Football League. It combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game all into one. The team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website, www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Robert Johnson has blown up a fantastic stop by the Motor City defense. TFL for Sabo Kanan.
Yeah, he did blow it up. That's the perfect word to describe it. He was shot through that offensive line right at the snap and just shut it down.
Kanan had a killer game last week against LA, provided the only touchdown for Motor City, a pick six in the fourth quarter. The game was already done and dusted by that point, but a career highlight for Kanan as Johnson gets dropped for no gain once again.
Yeah, the defense of Motor City's really starting to settle in, and this time not given as much ground as they had on the last couple series.
Second round pick from the Lincoln Rattlesnakes, Sabo Kanan, now 60 tackles this season and 8 TFLs, 3 pass deflections, an interception, and a TD. Really strong rookie campaign. 3rd and 13. Curtis short drop, quick throw, and not even close to the first down line. KJ Alesho, the undrafted rookie wide receiver, makes just his 7th catch of the season, but that'll be 4th down.
Yeah, it's quite the luxury having 4 contract wide receivers out there. This league likes to run the 4 wide receiver slant a lot, and having that 4th wide receiver in there, a quality wide receiver, really makes it dangerous.
So our first look tonight at Doug 6. First time Canton has not scored on a possession. Returnable here for Dion Lane Barney, but he does not have a lot of ways to go. The SFL Network is coming to the ESTV Plus app. 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community, the SFL's greatest games from the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. Download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone or on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL Network, where SFL creators come together. These 2 brand new teams coming together for the first time in league history. And new franchises, at least. Here goes Christopher Dean, the fullback, coughs up the ball, and it is recovered by Motor City. Crisis averted, at least for now. Falling on that one is Guy Clausen, the tight end, somehow keeping this ball in Motor City's possession.
Yeah, he saved them from disaster. I mean, he would have given the ball. If he wasn't able to that heads-up play and get the ball back, Canton would be in field goal range automatically.
That is a gain of 1, and now they will run it. It's Baloo Scott with a couple of spin moves, and a nice run for Baloo before she's stopped by Bob Funk, who had that interception earlier.
Yeah, I love it that they're getting Baloo Scott involved here, and I think they've realized they need to start developing a little bit more of a running game there, because being one-dimensional in this league is dangerous.
Down. Baloo Scott has rushed for a total of 150 yards this season. Not an average, a total of 150 yards in 7 games. 3rd and 3. Creato tries to lead Baloo Scott. She makes the catch, but is tackled immediately afterwards. Excellent coverage by rookie linebacker Adam Chance.
Yeah, they had that red at the line. I mean, there was great coverage by Canton Classics on the defensive line. They were able to put just enough pressure. Didn't break the pocket down, but just enough pressure to have Priyata get that ball out early.
Other punt for John Pickles. He has been a very busy man so far tonight. Dilapri, Sr. on the return. Breaks away from that first wave and gets out to the midfield line. Let's introduce you to the Canton defense before we get too much further. Defensive line, Chris Porter, Gary Burney, Odette Boudreau, and Mike All. Linebackers, Gary Clem, Mark Gronick, and Adam Chance. And in the secondary, Connor Darien, Jay Rock, Bob Funk, Evan Lacey, and Frank Bernstein. They will go take a seat and watch their offense take the field. Another quick out by this Canton defense, which has been excellent over the course of the last 3 game weeks. All wins for the Classics. They're a win away now from 500 and sole possession of 2nd place in the North Division. Where Johnson breaks through the first wave and is still going into enemy territory again inside the 35, and a gain of 17 for Rojo. 2-minute warning with Canton on the move and up 13-0. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us tonight. Bank Michigan Stadium, the site for the first ever meeting of the Canton Classics and the Motor City V8s, 2 of the 5 brand new franchises, or at least 5 brand new teams the SFL saw and welcomed into the fold in season 19. Alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Tim Hackett, Chad Rowland, and Adam Wiseman with us, providing the stats. Robert Johnson to run it again, and this time Motor City is ready for it. Another tackle for Sabo Kanan.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do something on defense. I mean, they've been playing solid all night. I mean, it is 13-0, but their offense isn't helping them out at all. It looks like we're at the point right now where they need to start looking at, turnovers and maybe getting some points off turnovers as well.
Johnson unofficially 17 carries for 63 yards. It's pretty much exactly what he did last week against Portland over 4 quarters. That's what he's done here in the first half. Curtis will throw. Johnson again with the catch. And guess who's there, Charles? It's Sabo Kanan, but also Dion Lane Barney, who finally gets to bring Robert Johnson down for once.
Yeah, it's easier to tackle when you have a friend with you. Let's just say that.
No kidding. That's now the 6th combo tackle credited to Sabo Kanan tonight. Quick snap for Curtis. Now he's off and running, back pedals and throws it into traffic. There ended up being 5 V8 defenders there, King Rashid among them, and now it's 4th down.
I think that was the first incomplete pass for Cameron Curtis tonight. He was at 11 for 11. Now he's 11 for 12.
A point for you, Charles. You're 100% right, and that ended up being broken up by King Rashid, and that'll be another 3rd down stop for the V8s. This will be the 3rd field goal attempt for Rob Ems. Imagine how different this game could be, I should say, if and was able to convert some of these opportunities and get in the red zone. Ems already 2 for 2 tonight. This will be his longest kick. Pressure comes, they get it away, and the kick from Ems is good, officially from 50 yards. A hat trick for Rob Ems, and it's 16-0 Canton.
I thought they were closer in. I looked up that 50 yards. Wow. Okay.
I felt the same.
It was just a chip shot.
For Rob, yeah, they call him Big Money Ems. He has been one of the most automatic kickers in the SFL for the last couple of years. And stunningly, Charles, before tonight, he was 8 of 9, so they really have not used him very much. And that's a field goal percentage of 89%, which sounds darn good, but in a league of 28 teams, 89% is 25th best. So if you go by that, he's really not been one of the best kickers in the SFL, which is just a surprise to me, seeing firsthand over the last few seasons just how automatic he is. And so far tonight, 3 of 3 and responsible for 9 of Canton's 16 points.
Yeah, that last kick just showed what kind of leg power he has.
Missed just 5 kicks in his career. Of course, one of them coming earlier this season, and it was blocked, if I recall correctly. So tough to even blame him, you could argue, for that miss. Well, less than a minute left in the first half. Motor City sitting on a goose egg so far. Creata trying to lock and load. Christopher Dean with that catch, and he walks right out of bounds.
Yeah, Creata isn't putting a lot of power on those passes, and it's hard on those swing passes. You've really got to get them to the receiver quickly so they have enough time to turn upfield. And on that particular play, Christopher Dean, the fullback, caught it just on the edge and just didn't have the positioning to be able to turn it up.
4th total touch tonight for Dean, brings his season total up to 40. Last season as a rookie, he had 35 over 12 games. 2nd and 10. Created a throw to the top side this time. Again, it's Dean, and that works just a little bit better than the previous play, give him 5.
And that fullback out there is built like a wide receiver.
You know a thing or two about running backs built like fullbacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too soon?
Yeah. No, that's okay.
You're probably having a good day, so I guess you could take a little ribbing. We'll see if I have a good day by the end of the night. 3rd and 5. Motor City, time running out in the first half. Creata will throw again. Another catch for Baloo Scott, and shoved back short of the 6 by Connor Darien. It's 4th and inches once again.
Yeah, that was a head-on collision, and Connor Darien got the right end of it.
Motor City is 1 of 6 on 3rd downs tonight, Charles, and they will punt once again. Oh yeah, punter, I'm coming. And not taking any timeouts.
I mean, that's tough. That's gotta wear on the defense. I mean, they keep coming out there, and they're going to be gassed here, looking late in the game.
Like we've said, they've done well to hold Canton to 3 field goals, but can they keep that up for another 22 minutes of game time? Punt away with 0s on the clock, so Dillapre the last chance, and he is brought down once again. 3 field goals for Rob Ems, a touchdown from Cameron Curtis to Mike Twinscrew. And the offensive struggles for Motor City continue. They need a pit stop in a hurry. It's halftime in Detroit. The Classics on top, 16-0. to have you with us. Bank Michigan Stadium. Tim Hackett and Charles Doherty with Chad Rowland and Adam Wiseman doing the stats. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green behind the scenes. And Charles, I'll toss it over to you. I'm curious your thoughts on the first half. You got the chance to talk to both executives from both teams over the course of this week, and you knew that Motor City was going to try to change some things from what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, but unfortunately for them, so far it's been a lot more of the same.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned they were going to try and get more runs out there, and they've shown it. Haven't seen a lot of it out of three tight end looks, but I mean, they really have to find something on offense. Their defense has just been constantly out there in the field, and like I said right before the end of the half, that's really gonna put a toll on them as we get later and deeper into this game.
We saw only about 150 total yards of offense in that first half for Canton, which isn't anything exorbitant, but it's 3 times what Motor City was able to tally in that first half. And Motor City on average allows 32 points per game. That is the 6th highest total in the league, and on pace for that once again. 16 points conceded in the first half as Johnson gets maybe 1 on first down, but the rest of this Motor City team really struggled, especially on offense, which has been the problem for them of late. Johnson again, left tackle this time, breaks through a tackle and then gets stuck just short of the sticks by David Leathers.
Yeah, I mean, their defense, they have had a lot of points scored on them, but they're much better at home than they are on the road. I mean, 167 points away scored on them as opposed to 56 at home. So, I mean, there's a big difference there. They play a lot better at home, and it looks like they're playing decent tonight, but they're just on the field too much.
Johnson doing his best to change that. Gets a couple of yards short of midfield, and another first down picked up on the ground by Canton. Leathers with another tackle.
And you got to, the first half for Canton has been, I'm not going to say flawless, but near flawless. They've got everyone who could possibly be involved on the offensive side involved. Cameron Curtis is looking like a field general out there, and also you can't forget Rojo back there as the halfback. He's having a pretty solid game as well.
We've really counted on him quite a bit. That was his 20th carry of the game. And Motor City's going to jump offside once again. Johnson with the carry, Leathers again with the tackle. We'll check the marker, Charles, but I have a feeling we know what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, they're making it easy for Canton. I mean, Canton's not getting in the end zone a lot, but it's only a matter of time. And if they keep walking away with field goals, I mean, 3 points every time starts to add up.
It certainly has so far, especially since Motor City has likely put up a 0 so far through 22-plus minutes of game time. Butts charged with the offside for the second time today. Canton has seemed to kind of change course a little bit, at least if the last couple of weeks are anything to go by. They averaged 38 pass attempts and 20 rushes over the balance of the season. Cameron Curtis is 13th in the league in attempts as they go on the ground again. They accepted the penalty, by the way. Johnson gets a couple on first down and 5. Kanan with another tackle. So 38 passes, 20 runs on the balance of the season, but last week against Portland, 27 passes and 30 runs. So pretty much a 50-50 split, even for a team that had been nearly 60-40 split in favor of the pass in previous weeks. And now Robert Johnson with 10 more carries than Cameron Curtis pass attempts tonight. Another carry coming. Another first down for Johnson, and Leathers brings him down. Lane Barney with a hurdle move to avoid getting hit by the falling tree that is Robert Johnson, but another first down on the ground.
To your point earlier before the snap, Mike Twinscrew, the coach and offensive coordinator for Ken, he's a seasoned coach here. He's been around the block a couple times, and he knows when he has to make adjustments, and he did so. We mentioned the limiting mistakes for their quarterback. But he also wanted to make sure that I pointed out this defense coordinator, Chris Porter. Two of them put their heads together, made some tweaks to the offensive and defensive game plans, and they're both very pleased with what they've got going forward.
You can see that adjustment on defense for Canton over the last couple of weeks, and that's just the second incompletion tonight for Curtis, looking for Jack Wall, covered very nicely. This team has spread the ball around nicely, like Charles pointed out in the first half, but not a lot of completions for anybody. Twinscrew is the team leader with 4 tonight. Johnson with the give, and he is blown up once again. No gain that time. Tackle made by Nicholas Warner, the veteran safety.
Yeah, again, the defensive Motor City, they're doing a solid job. It's I sound like a broken record. They need at this point though. I think they need to start maybe forcing some turnovers.
Really done so far. This is about where Canton's been stopped the whole time. And there's a turnover right on cue. The pass bounced off the helmet of Al Dillapre Sr. and right into the hands of Ty White. Welcome to the SFL. The rookie has his second career pick.
Yeah, another feather in the cap for the V8 defense. They're setting their offense up here now. The offense has really got it on their shoulders. They have to put some points on the board. They have to have a sustained drive.
25th interception this season from Cameron Curtis, second most in the league before action started this weekend. And can that be the spark plug that finally revs these engines for the V8s? They've been stuck in neutral tonight and over the last couple of weeks.
I like how you did that. Very well.
Could you tell I was working on it?
You're good. Good.
Motor City starts from across midfield. Here's Baloo Scott, and that'll a nice little wrench in the machinery. No gain for Scott. Tackled by Gary Clem, who's the team leader in tackles.
Yeah, so when Baloo Scott shifted from first to second, the defensive line of Canton was waiting there, and he had to put the emergency brake on.
Scott has about an even split this season. It's crazy. 53 carries for 150 yards on the ground, 57 catches for 151 yards through the air. An exactly even split for Baloo Scott in her rookie season. Create another sidearm toss, another catch for Dean, and here come a whole host of classics. Adam Chance with the finishing blow. J-Rock was there too. Third down and long.
Yeah, Motor City sent all their tight ends deep on that one, and the secondary of Canton had it well covered. So the only option for Criada was a dump off to the sideline.
43 yards on 11 attempts for Ibrahim Criada, fewer than 4 yards per attempt. Going to need at least 11 here. Lock and load again into traffic, intercepted for the second time. The classic secondary was ready again. Evan Lacey has his first interception of the season. Stunning that it took until game number 8, but better late than never.
Yeah, Evan Lacey, the 4-season veteran, came from Lone Star. He is a center field as well. The combination of Lacey and Funk is just in that center part of the field. They just shut it down.
I know Evan's a guy that you know well, Charles, from Lone Star, but I was stunned when I saw that he had 0 interceptions before today. And what do you know?
Yeah, actually, I was stunned as well when I was prepping for it. But I'll call Van after this and we'll talk about it.
He's going to be excited about it, I know. Penalty flags fly as Johnson gets another. Check that. That is Pete Kallick, the number 2 running back on that carry, and it might not even count in the stat sheet for him. Butts walks away holding the lower extremities, and I think he's guilty of another offside.
Yeah, I mean, this is it looks like he was holding his hip as well. I hope he's okay.
Actually will go against Doug Howard, the other defensive end, so Butts avoids the injury and insult combination, but it will still be a free 5 yards for Canton. That's now a couple of offside calls against Motor City, and even though, like you said earlier, Charles, this Canton offense has not been perfect, those 3 field goals, obviously, you can't just give them these 3 yards all the time. Oh, man, wow. That'll help. No gain for Johnston, gets stuck by Leathers.
Yes, he got laid out by Leathers. Leathers just went horizontal and lined him out. That was just unbelievable.
Leathers is pasted on him. Really good stop. We saw him with that neck slicing motion earlier, and he's come to play today. Johnson again runs outside, throws down a man, and is still going. Robert Johnson breaks through another tackle. Can anyone stop him? Butts will chase, and Johnson will score. 50-yard rushing touchdown for Robert Johnson.
Robert Johnson just came after taking the handoff, stiff-armed King Rashid, the cornerback for Motor City, and just took it to the house. It's unbelievable the way he's playing tonight. There's been a couple of his long runs just look like disaster after the snap, but his ability after the handoff is just incredible. Very smart runner, very very disciplined and athletic.
Leave the reigning defensive rookie of the year, King Rashid, in your wake, then break a couple of other tackles en route to your 6th rushing touchdown of the season. That is vintage Robert Johnson. Rob M's on for the PAT. A couple of former Lycans going to work as their old team in action over on Next Level Sports. M's knocks through it, the extra point once again. He's been perfect today, and Canton extends the lead even further. You mentioned this earlier, Charles. It was a great point. It's been a long time since Robert Johnson has been over the century mark. Only 69 rushing yards last week. How does 140 rushing yards tonight sound?
Yeah, that's. I think that's the total of his last 2 games.
Against this Motor City team, which is 20th against the run and 17th in total yards, this B8s are bottom half of the league in just about every defensive stat. They're not terrible in anything, but they're certainly not good in any defensive team stat either. And Canton has been able to take advantage. It's been, kind of to that point, Charles, you've seen some good and some bad from this Motor City defense. They've stopped Johnson for 0 or 1 yards about a half dozen times, and then we've seen him break off big runs like that, 13 yards, 17 yards, and
I don't care what defense you have on the field. If they're out there all the time, they're going to get tired and they're going to start making mistakes.
No doubt. Can this offense finally string together some first downs and give them a break, and then, of course, score some points? Creata, oh, man, nearly put the defense right back on the field into the breadbasket almost of Jay Rock, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, Rock would have been dancing in the end zone if he would have been able to hold on to that one. I can't speak.
I would have been, try to rock in the free world, and instead it's all just rock and rolled out of his clutches. Should have been his second pick of the year. I tried. 2nd and 10. Another incompletion for Creata. He has struggled tonight. Back to throw. Lofts it up. Wide open that time. First down for Christopher Dean. He is making a name for himself among fullbacks. Check that out. 4th catch for him tonight. He's their leading receiver.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why he's built that way. So he's a good receiver out of the backfield, because he looks like a wide receiver, and he moves like a wide receiver and runs a route like a wide receiver. So I guess very smart. Just keep him engaged in the game plan, because he's one of the only ones that are showing the ability to catch the ball tonight.
4 catches for him for 17 yards. Shane Kaufman does have more yards on his only catch, but got 3 catches. Dean with 4. Nobody else has more than 1 for Motor City. On the ground they go. Scott running into traffic, and a gain of just about 2 for Blue Scott, who was one of the last players taken in this SFL draft. Motor City knew that they needed a running back. There were a handful available in the draft, and they waited until the 4th round to take Blue Scott from the Albuquerque Adams, and she comes in and has done a decent job, but like we've said, they do not go to her very often. 150 total rushing yards before today. Robert Merrill, the league's leading rusher, averages 183. So his average is more than what Scott has done on the balance of this season. Nice. There's a nice lofted throw from Creata right into the waiting arms of Guy Clausen, who finally has his first catch.
Yeah, it looked like it was almost a tight end seam type route where 2 of the tight ends went down and out, and the other did a straight down the field. And they did it. I was worried there wasn't enough time for that play to develop, but the offensive line held it perfectly and was able to get that pass off.
One of the longest drives already tonight for Motor City. From midfield, Creata lofts it up. Dean, another catch, and brought down behind the line by Connor Darien.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting to get a little life here. They're not lighting the world on fire, but a couple first downs do wonders.
Hey. Mentioned Dean already broke his surpassed his season total from last year as a rookie. 35 total touches. This season, 36 before tonight, and now he's got 8, so make it 44 for him tonight. After tonight, I should say. Loss of 1 on that one. Create a deep drop and another deep throw, and dropped. Wow. That one could have been caught, Charles. Orain Darby was there off of a killer week last week against LA. Could not make that catch.
Oh, he couldn't make that catch because Evan Lacey just laid him out with a huge hit. Not many receivers in this league can hold on to a ball when you've got the likes of Lacey lighting you up.
No doubt, and he's playing with some more energy, it feels like, after that interception earlier in this quarter. RB with only one catch tonight. Creata's going to throw short on 3rd and 11, and Baloo Scott is running the wrong way. Canton was all over that one. They needed 11. Instead, they lose 3, and it's 4th down again.
Yeah, great coverage by Canton. I mean, that's all you can say. There wasn't anything open downfield. That was the only thing that Creata could do. He could have tried to run it, but it probably would have ended up worse.
Teams are converting on 3rd downs at 50% against Canton this season, which sounds like a high number, but in this league it's really not. That is the 6th best mark in the league through 7 games. And so far tonight, Motor City is 1 of 8. So teams usually convert 50%, 2 out of every 4, 4 out of every 8. Motor City 1 out of 8 tonight.
Motor City defense, they've shown the ability to make the turnover. I mean, they're really in a tight spot here, and the pressure's on them because it seems like they're the only ones that on either side of the field from Motor City has been able to make some sparks on the field.
They got what the Dr. Charles Doherty ordered. It was the longest drive in terms of plays on offense for the V8s, 8 plays. So they've got the defense off the field for a little while. But right now they've got to go right back out and put up another 0 to give their offense a chance. Mike Bilott on that stop. Short gain for Robert Johnson, who's now close to 150 yards tonight. Canton will spread it out. 4 wides on 2nd and 9. Curtis, quick step and throw. Al Dillapre Sr. with that catch and a gain of 5.
This is, right at this point, every 3rd down becomes crucial for Motor City. They have to stop them and get their offense on the field.
Dion Lane Barney has had a tough time stopping Robert Johnson, but so far they've done a great job of stopping Kendra Hall. Haven't heard from her very much at all. Johnson with the carry and blown up. A tackle for loss that time for Tim Connolly, the rookie outside linebacker, who's now got 6 TFLs in his rookie season.
Yeah, every time I say something, a challenge to the defense of Motor City, they show it. So well done. Another feather in your cap, gentlemen. And let's see what the offense can do for Motor City.
Guess you're a good motivator, Charles, because that was exactly what they needed. Another stop and a 3 and out, something that Motor City has not forced a lot of tonight, but this was the time where they needed it. Give themselves a chance. Good punt from Doug Six. Turned by Lane Barney, who has been elevated into a significant role in this team, Charles. I mean, often you see rookies, especially corners or safeties, they're thrown in as the nickel back, perhaps, or maybe even a dime back. But Dion Lane Barney is this team's #1 corner and their kick and punt returner as a rookie, which is kind of an impressive mantle to be given, especially when you've got King Rashid, who is last year's Defensive Rookie of the Year with Tulsa and one of the best young corners in the league. He's now on this team, and Lane Barney has already surpassed him. Create a deep throw, and O'Reilly Darby has that catch. No Evan Lacey that time. Lacey will make the tackle, but Darby gets Motor City inside the Classic 35.
Nice route by Darby, but impressive pass by Creata. Hits right in stride, and that's the type of spark that they need to get the ball moving and get some points on the board.
That was the best offensive play, bar none, for Motor City tonight. We mentioned they love to go with their tight ends. They've got 3 of them. The unique look in this league, unprecedented really, but the tight ends have been shut down. That's 1 big gain for Shane Kaufman, 1 big gain for O'Reilly Darby. Baloo catch now with this. Scott with this catch and a nice gain. Give her 6 through the air.
Yeah, doing a little BDG Hollywood imitation out there with the spin move. I mean, we're looking at a bunch of rookies here on the V8s, but this is great experience for them. And it's what's scary is they're going to get better next season. And we talked about on the defense the cornerback Lane Barney. I mean, he's going to be a beast, and that's how Hall of Fame careers start. Is when you get that type of pressure put on you as a rookie, and you show what you can do.
Done with 3 in Detroit, 23-0 Canton on top of Motor City. Tim Hackett, Charles Doherty in the booth. Adam Wiseman, Chad Rowland in the stat truck. Cameron Irvine behind the scenes. 11 minutes and counting left in regulation. 2nd and 5, Christopher Dean with another carry. And a good stop this time by the Canton defense. Gary Birdie off the pile, 5th season defensive tackle. Couple standout seasons with Portland, and working on a career season now here with Canton. But to your point, Charles, I mean, what I've learned about this league is that obviously with sports, you hear that people get better as they go on. If you're a fan of college sports, you expect players to be better as seniors than they were as freshmen. And professionally, you expect people to get better after they have a few seasons under their belt. But that is how this league is designed. You're supposed to get better as you gain experience. As Creata's pass is dropped by Phil Koss. Oh, man, you never see that. One of the surest hands tight ends in this league. He comes up short on third down, and now Caleb Richards will come out for just the first time tonight.
I would, at this point, I would think about going for it.
Yeah. What does a field goal do for you here? Make it a 20-point game. It would at least break the shutout that Canton is trying to build. So Caleb Richards, another rookie on this Motor City team, third-round pick, kicking the ball for just the second time tonight, and it is good. From 42 yards, he made all three kicks last week against LA. Only points that their offense scored, and so far tonight, he's the only points that Motor City's offense has scored.
Yeah, much needed. Maybe that's the spark that fires up the Motor City V8s to catch up and maybe get a chance at winning. But at this point, every possession for Motor City has to be perfect.
Richards now 11 of 11 on his kicks. Great start to his pro career. Former Annapolis Navigator. He will kick it off. Remember, he had the first kickoff of this half, and this is now just the third time that he's actually put his boot to the ball tonight. Dillapre will start this drive from the 28. Coverage of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports continues on a special night this week, Thursday, before Pro Football Elsewhere kicks off another season. At 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Atlanta attempts to save their season and welcomes the legendary Matt Wilson and the Mexico City Aztecs, plus live look-ins on Sioux Falls versus Charleston. For a channel guide and more info about NXT, visit NLSE.com. Motor City gets on the board for the first time tonight as Curtis links up with Mike Twinscrew, his first catch in quite a while. He went over 3,000 yards with that catch in the first half, and he's responsible for the only passing touchdown for either team tonight.
Canton's clearly in the driver's seat here. No urgency to push it deep downfield. Just small progressions down the field, get a couple first downs, and they're going to start eating away that clock.
Time's on their side, and so who do they go to? Robert Johnson. You know he has the ability to run some time, Charles, and he only gets one there. Connolly with the tackle, but that's got to be the game plan here, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the Motor City V8s on defense, they've been on the field a lot, but they're still hanging in there and laying down the hurt on the offense.
3rd and 3, and down goes Curtis. Hurt for the quarterback. A team that does not get a lot of sacks this season has one from an unlikely source. Levi Eugene with the hit on third down.
That's what they needed. That was huge. I mean, the V8 defense has been doing what they needed to do, and again, hopefully that field goal for the offense of the V8s is just enough to get them in some rhythm where they can start moving down the field and put some more points up.
A team that only totaled 5 sacks by star players through 7 weeks goes down the depth chart to Levi Eugene to get their first sack of the night and force a punch for Doug Six. And Motor City, down by 20, will start from the 34. If you believe in momentum, Charles, maybe this is the time that they are able to capitalize on it. The V8 score for the first time. They force a 3-and-out on the next possession defensively, and now they've got the ball right back with 9 minutes left in regulation.
I think, the league believes in momentum, and also the game believes in momentum.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see MCV start to race down the field. There's a high throw from Creata, and that's caught. Phil Koss atones. A nice gain. His biggest catch of the night. First down.
I find myself watching Creata throw the ball. It's the most unusual delivery I've ever seen.
And we mentioned how unusual this offense is constructed. We have not heard from Koss and Clausen much at all, Charles. I mean, that is now 2 catches for Koss and 1 for Clausen, unofficially for 35 combined yards. And really, that's been a lot more of the same. Last week against LA, the two of them combined for 2 catches for 56 yards, both courtesy of Phil Koss. So Clausen was shut out, and this is a team that we know they love to target their tight ends. They go to those two guys a lot. Not tonight. Creative throws and lays it in there somehow. What a completion.
That was a great pass there. Plenty of time to get rid of the ball. That was Mondavi with the catch. I thought it was a tight end, but to your point earlier, they have tried to get the tight ends involved, but when they've put them on routes, they've been deep routes and they've been covered perfectly by the classic secondary.
Creative will lock and load again.
Oh, no.
Deep bomb down the center and intercepted for the 3rd time. Canton has been ready for that every single time that Ibrahim Creative has tried to go deep over the middle, and this time Connor Darien has the takeaway.
Yeah, that middle should be a no-fly zone. I mean, not just for this game. I think most games in this league, you don't. I just don't. When I see the pass, even when I was a coach, I'd always get nervous when the ball was thrown in the middle.
Especially with the way that this Canton defense has been playing. They've been good at taking the ball away this season. They're 7th in takeaways with 21 before this week, and they've got 3 tonight, and they're winning the turnover battle. Usually a good sign of success.
Ooh.
Robert Johnson gets the carry there and a gain of about 3.
Yeah, that turnover was just a punch right in the face for Motor City. They looked like they were getting some momentum, and that's just very, very discouraging that they weren't able to keep that drive alive.
I've said for a long time, Charles, that turnover differential is the key to success in this league. Motor City losing that battle. They nearly get one right back. Great coverage, one-on-one by Mark Kaufman against Mike Twinscrew, who's had the better of that matchup tonight, but not there.
Yeah, that was perfect. Perfect coverage by Mark Kaufman. Excuse me. He is tied with David Leathers for 4 interceptions, and he was hoping to get a 5th on that one.
And won last week against Sully Richardson and LA, a team that does not pass the ball very much. And now they're playing a team in Canton that does pass the ball quite a bit. Cameron Curtis, 13th in the league in attempts, but 24th in completions before today. So his completion percentage, as you might imagine, dismal, lower than 65%. 2nd worst in the league, much better than that tonight. But that pass is dropped and intercepted. That'll drop that completion percentage and a critical takeaway for the V8s, courtesy of Ty White, his 2nd.
Ty White, the rookie. Just, great field presence there. It looked like it bounced off shoulder pads or maybe a helmet, but this defense of the V8s, it's keeping them in the game. And they are they basically teed it up for them, and it's a loft wedge into the end zone.
That is the 2nd time that Ty White has been teed up for a pick. It has hit Al Dillapre Sr. somewhere twice and ended up in White's hands. Creative with the throw, and that's caught to the 6-yard line. They go. Lacey on the tackle, Koss on the catch. He's starting to heat up.
Perfect. I mean, this is the perfect part of the field where the 3 tight end offense could play murder on a defense.
3rd catch for Koss. Come, it feels, in the last couple of minutes. Motor City inside the red zone for the first time tonight. Desperately in need of some points. Spread it out. Both wide receivers are on the field. Create off his back foot, tosses to Baloo Scott. She stays on her feet, but is pushed out of bounds. Gain of maybe 2 for Baloo.
Yeah, she did that stiff arm just at the last second. Excuse me. I thought she was going to get lit up, but was able to show some power and keep that run alive a little.
He's caught 2 touchdowns and also rushed for 2 touchdowns. Creative has only thrown for 9 touchdowns this season. 3 of them have gone to Phil Koss and 4 to Shane Kaufman, who's off the field now. They will run it. Here goes Dean once again, and the Canton defense ready for that one. Stack them up. Evan Lacey was there along with Adam Chance.
Huge play for Motor City. This could be their play of the game that could either lead them to victory or fire up the bus and go home.
On by 20. They have yet to find the end zone tonight. The offense has struggled mightily over the last couple of weeks. 6 minutes and counting left. VH trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Deep drop back for Creative, back of the end zone, and caught, but well past the end zone. Had the man there, Charles, but could not find the link up.
Yeah, and the routes that were run there just took too much time to develop. I mean, when you don't have a lot of field to work with, you got to do a quick drop, and you got to have your receivers break out of the route quickly so you can get the ball into their hands before the defense has time to adjust.
They're going to bring Caleb Richards out here for a field goal, Charles, with 6 minutes left and down by 20.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher. I mean, they are getting some points on the board, but with 5 minutes and 44 seconds left, the field goal, smiling that you got a field goal has gone away. You got to put 7 on the board.
Agreed. And I mean, I respect the idea of just trying to string things together, and Motor City has now scored on consecutive possessions, which is encouraging, but with 5:44 left, all you have to show for that are 2 field goals, and you're still down by 17. So it's a 3-possession game. Do you think you're going to get 3 possessions against the Canton defense that is playing as well as it is with 5:40 left? It seems unlikely to me.
Well, I mean, the one thing that Motor City has going for them is the defense has been, doing what they needed to do to get set up the offense. But they can only go to that well a certain amount of times. There may still be some water in it, but eventually it's going to dry.
Yeah, no doubt. And this offense has been just bone dry over the last couple of weeks. They scored 33 points in that Week 1 win against Tulsa. And since then, they've only cracked 20 points once, and that was their other win in Week 3 against Sioux Falls. Nice gain of 6 for Al Dillapre Sr. for Canton. Since that win against Sioux Falls, this offense for Motor City has been stuck in neutral. I mean, 2-0 and they score at least 20 points, and their 5 losses, they've scored between 10 points and 16 points every single time. Our offense scored 0 touchdowns last week against LA. Sable Kanan was the only player to find the end zone, and so far, not even he has done that tonight.
Well, I mean, with that type of offense, yeah, you have to commit to it. With the 3 tight ends and 2 wide receivers, you can't run 3 wide and 4 wide because you're going out there with a non-contract player, and there's a lot of risk in that.
Sure. So far, we haven't seen too much from any of the tight ends, like we've said. 3rd and 2 for Canton. Curtis will throw it short. Catch is made by Chris Komisak. First time we've said his name in a long time, Charles, and it comes at a clutch time. First down, Canton.
Hey, when it's clutch time, what do? You bring the fullback out. That's what fullbacks do. They don't need to touch the ball a lot, but when you give them the ball, they know what they need to do. That was a huge first down for Canton. I mean, it goes without saying. Now you just hand off and, Komisak. You just hand the ball off and run the clock out.
Over 100 receiving yards now on the season for Chris Komisak. Always been one of the most used fullbacks in the league. Now he will pave the way for Johnson. And a really strong game tonight for Robert Johnson. Rodney Panani with the tackle and a gain of 5.
I mean, I would run it anyway. I wouldn't even, if you don't get the first down on these next 2 plays, you're going to burn up a lot of time. And that's putting them in Motor City in a really tough situation.
Johnson has been billed as a feature back. He's kind of the classic running back. Gets a ton of carries, not a great average, about 3.7 yards per carry on the balance of the season, but tonight close to 5 yards per carry, and that has been more than good enough for the Classics. Now lead by 17 with 3.5 left in regulation. Quick job for Curtis. He will dart it out this way to Johnson, who has to kind of about face to make that catch, and not a big gain through the sky that time for Rojo. Panani with another tackle. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, the pass wasn't quick and crisp coming out into the arms of for Rojo. Wasn't able to set up and turn upfield, and he had a whole skew of Motor City V8 defenders waiting for him.
Curtis has really been held in check tonight. I mean, we've sung his praises, deservedly so, for keeping the ball in front of him and not throwing a ton of picks, but they have picked him off twice, and he's thrown for under 125 yards, and Canton's still up by 3 scores. Midfield, they will run it. Johnson is stopped short. Another critical stop on third down for Motor City. Tim Connolly, the rookie backer, has had a big second half.
That was a huge tackle by Timothy Connolly, because if he wouldn't have been able to stop him, Rojo would have been gone, because that hole behind Connolly was huge, and he would have taken it to the house.
That was exactly where Johnson ripped off his 50-yard touchdown earlier, right? They were right at that same exact position, same spot on the field, same hash mark and all that. But Connolly made sure there wasn't a sequel to that blockbuster. Instead, it will be a punt. They will snap it before the 2-minute warning. That's brilliant. Kicked away by 6, and
nice.
St. Barney will leave it. Perfectly done by Canton. 2 minutes left in regulation. The Classics on the verge of their 4th straight win. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us tonight. Final game, at least the final game to start in the 9th week of the 19th season of the Simulation Football League, alongside Charles Doherty, Adam Wiseman, Chad Rowland, and Cameron Irvine. I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us. Ibrahim Krieta, a guy who's thrown the ball more than anybody else through 7 games, will have to throw it a lot here. A gain of 6. Krieta was the league's leader in pass attempts before this week, and even if you count all the games that finished yesterday, he's still the league leader in pass attempts. He's going to have to throw a lot here. Now he tries to run, and he is taken down by Gary Burney. They'll remember this name now. Another sack for him.
Yeah, that was a crucial sack for Canton. Clock is it forces them to use a time. Did they not call a timeout? How come the clock's not ticking?
I think they must have, right, to try to save themselves at least a little bit.
I looked away for a second there, but the thing I was going to say was this offense it's not built for the the quick score and the air raid as you just throw.
They go again. They will raid it out. Orain Darby with the catch. Krieta burns the defense for the first time tonight, and Darby will take it to the house. The first touchdown of the night for the Motor City offense is a 90-yard bomb to number 89.
Well, I was going to say they weren't built for the deep pass, but wow, they proved me wrong on that one. So the Darby was wide open, and man, I'm just amazed that they were able to do that. They were pinned deep based on the great punt by Doug Six from Canton, and they just responded. We were waiting for the offense to do it. I think it's a little late in the game, but that was a great score.
I mean, but see, for your point earlier, you mentioned the fact that this is a bit of a special game a special season rather for Canton. They've got all these 1920s Canton Bulldogs throwbacks on their roster, and a lot of them were in on that play. You saw Connor Darien, who's their number 1 corner, was actually playing a little bit higher, and he was one of the guys that got burned on that deep throw to a wide receiver. Richards nails the PAT, so backups were in at least partially for Canton on that play, up by 17 with 2 minutes left, and Motor City finally burns them. Back-to-back big games for Orain Darby, who was at times the 5th option, or at least the 4th option for Matt Wilson in the Mexico City Aztecs last year. He comes over here to Motor City to be the number 2 wide receiver, and he's still the 4th or 5th option in the offense, but he's been their biggest player tonight, at least through the air. Onside kick. He's got it.
Unbelievable.
Motor City. The Eights have it.
Unbelievable.
Charles, they have a chance. That's Azami Mahada. We were just talking about Darby being the 4th option. Mahada is the 5th. He's their number 3 tight end on this 3 tight end construction. He has not been targeted tonight, and he comes out and plays on special teams, and that's the biggest catch that either team has made.
I mean, that could turn out to be, if Motor City pulls this off, that could be the play of the game.
Doubt. Yeah, we rarely see onside kicks work in the SFL, but Motor City pulls that rabbit out of the hats. 80 seconds left. Krieta's throw well out of bounds, intended for Scott.
Oh, wow. So they're down by 10. Okay. So I guess they could walk away with a field goal here and still be okay.
You need points of some kind here, and I'm curious what Richards' range is. He's hit from 42 tonight. He hit from 50 last week, so let that be your guide. They're nowhere near it right now, obviously, from their own 44, down by 10. Creata back to throw again, and down he goes. Another sack conceded by this Motor City offense. The most in the league, 28 through 7 games, including 11 last week. And Gary Burney has another one here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the deep routes downfield were covered, and you saw him going for one of the safety valve routes, and the defensive line, for Canton just was able to get there. It's a lot of time holding on to the ball, and that's never a good thing for a quarterback.
Burney's had a big season, 7.5 sacks before tonight, 6th in the league. He's got 2 now today. 3rd and 15. Creata into traffic and intercepted for the 4th time. That's number 10 this season for Bob Funk.
Wow.
The railroad is starting to rev up, and that might just ground the V8s. It's another turnover.
Yeah, I think the engine's starting to go to idle now, because that's that right there could be the game ender.
Second pick tonight for Bob Funk. Entered this week 2nd in the league in takeaways. Give him 2 more. He's now up to 10. He had 2 last week against Portland. Talk about a happy homecoming. Former All-Star with the Fleets. 2 picks to help sink Cyrus Jive and his former team. 2 more picks here tonight against Motor City in the first ever matchup between these 2 new-look teams. And Cameron Curtis, Charles, will come out in the victory formation.
That's two back-to-back games with 2 interceptions. That doesn't happen
right?
very often.
Oh, no doubt. He's got double-digit picks in just 8 games. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Well, again, I've said it before, Charles, but the turnover battle is a key indicator of success in the SFL. It's not the be-all, end-all. Motor City used its 3rd and final timeout, so Curtis will take this knee. Canton leads the turnover battle tonight, +2. Creata threw 4 picks. Curtis did throw 2. He's thrown a ton of interceptions this year, but the Canton defense locked it down when needed, and they're going to win the turnover battle, and they're going to win this game.
Yeah, we did see some life from the offense of Motor City, but it was too late in the game.
Rain Darby scored their first offensive touchdown in a couple of weeks, but unfortunately for the V8s, it's a lot more of the same. 13 points tonight. That has been about what they have scored in all of their losses. One more kneel down for Cameron Curtis, and that's it. The Classics had a dismal start to this season. A record loss to Indianapolis in a game they should have won. A blowout loss to London. That dropped them to 0-4. But finally, the Classics are on the rise. They have won 4 straight games. They're in 2nd place now in the North Division, and they have got a great chance now of making the playoffs in their inaugural season. It's a final from Detroit. 4 straight wins for Canton. 5 straight losses for Motor City. The Classics win this one, 23-13. Well, Charles, we mentioned it would we would see which of these 2 trends would continue, and tonight both of them did. Another win for Canton, which has looked like a brand new team, especially on defense, and unfortunately for Motor City, they've struggled to score once again.
Yeah, I mean, but the defense was a lot of hope there for, well, actually both sides of the ball. But the defense really needed to, step up at certain points in the game, and for most of the time they did. They made some key interceptions, gave the ball to the offense in Motor City. It's just they weren't able to execute. They did at the end, late in the game, but that wasn't enough for them to stay in the game.
The turnaround defensively by this Canton defense, Chris Porter, Mike Twinscrew, and the rest of the Brain Trust has just been stunning, Charles. In those 4 losses to open the season, they gave up 38 points or more 3 times, an average of 39 points per game allowed in those 4 weeks. Now in the last 4 games, all wins for Canton have allowed 51 points total. Their last totals, 7 points, 7 points, 20 points, and 13. This Canton defense is on another level, and even though their offense only scored 2 touchdowns, it was more than enough to drive them to a win tonight against the V8s.
Oh, definitely. And, special, I guess, game balls go out to Burney, the defensive tackle, with 2 sacks. Obviously, Bob Funk with 2 interceptions. Evan Lacey, Connor Darien with an interception. Robert Johnson, halfback, with a rushing touchdown. Mike Twinscrew with the reception and the one touchdown. I don't know who to give the player of the game to, but I think even with 2 interceptions, I would give it to Cameron Curtis.
You intercepted my question because that was about to be what I think maybe Robert Johnson, 150 yards and a rushing touchdown. It's usually the way this game looks.
Yep.
Indeed. Robert Johnson with one of the best games of his Canton career. Started his career here in the Midwest, a couple of seasons on the West Coast, now back to the Midwest to be the feature back for the Canton Classics, and he powers them to their 4th win in a row. The first battle for the Golden Dog Bone goes the way of the Canton Classics. They've won 4 in a row, and they're now 500. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Tune in to the exciting conclusion over on Next Level Sports between LA and Portland. We'll see you next time. For my partner, Charles Doherty, Adam Wiseman, and Chad Rowland, thank you both for your fantastic work. And Cameron Irvine behind the scenes, I've been Tim Hackett. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long from Detroit.